What's up, everybody? It's James Gardner, urban farmer out of Greensboro, North Carolina, specializing in growing food and growing people. I wanted to take you guys in on a little bit of an experiment. This particular one that I'm doing is not so much of an experiment, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. Essentially, I went over to Carolina Gardens. Y'all know that is my absolute favorite nursery. It's really where I go to for everything, right? But I went over to Carolina Gardens and I picked up a few seedlings. Now, I'm not putting these things in the ground. If you're in my area, I'm zone 8A. We had a frost last night. And I woke up and there was frost on the ground, on my neighbor's yard and everything. And that is exactly why I don't plant any summer items in the ground. But we did have a frost, but inside my greenhouse, the large greenhouse, and for those that are curious, the size of that greenhouse is 30 feet by 96 feet. So that's 30 by 96, a lot of space to grow in there. And we're building an aquaponic system, but I'm also doing some things in bags and in aeroponic towers. So what I'm doing today is I've taken some of the tomatoes that I know I plan on growing and getting out and actually transplanting them into the aeroponic, quote unquote, hydroponic environment. So what I've done is I've gotten two of my favorites. Now, in the past, I wait for these to grow out in the garden, and then I'll take them and prune them, right? Everybody prunes tomatoes. There'll be videos to follow about that. But I would prune those tomatoes, but then allow the pieces that I prune to root in a jar of water, and then I can transplant those into the towers. What I do there is I actually will use that second generation of the plants that I want to grow inside the greenhouse to extend my tomato season for the fall. But I kind of wanted to start some inside now. So I've taken these wonderful seedlings, or I'm taking them. I'm gonna show you guys the process. And I'm actually just gonna wash the soil. Now the soil that they're started in, of course, you know, you can grow things in soil, but you don't necessarily have to. But tomatoes are one of those plants that do not mind being transplanted. So my process is simple. I take one out and I'm sitting this in it's just a tray. It's actually two trays that allow the dirt to pass through, right? You can see me, I can see you. It allows the dirt to pass through and the roots will stay on top so that I can keep those for the system. So it's somewhat simple what I'm doing. This is how it starts out. Just gonna take the plants. I'm only gonna start with 6 for right now. And again, these are Brandywine. Brandywine is typically an heirloom variety, but they are Brandywine tomatoes. It's a beautiful, actually it is, the little tag says heirloom, just what I thought. It's an heirloom variety. Nice big juicy red tomatoes that'll come from that. But I'm gonna take my hose and gently wash the roots. I like to turn it to, shower works, but I need to clean the shower nozzle area out because there's some calcium in there. It's causing the water to fly everywhere. But I'll use the flat option. It allows me to have a little bit of pressure, but push that soil back. All right, I'm gonna focus on one so that I can show you what the end result looks like there. All right, so we have washed the soil off of the tomato plant. I'm gonna wash the debris off of anything that splashed up on the leaves. I'll wash those off. I'm gonna pinch off these bottom two, and I'll kind of show you up front. This is what's gonna go into my tower. These larger pieces, you can take your time to pull these out if you'd like. I typically do because I don't want them to clog up the pumps that are sending the water to the top of the tower. I'm gonna pinch off these bottom leaves like this, like so. I'm gonna put a cloning collar right here. Actually, I'll pinch off this set of leaves as well. All right, so these roots will be fed by the nutrients. And then if you notice these hairs, these trichomes, these hairs will also, and can also, they don't always do this, but they can also provide roots to soak up the nutrients that we're gonna be adding to these. So this process is, it's a little bit tedious, but it's just it's a quick way to kind of get some plants into the towers if you didn't start them on your own. And I know I plan on growing tomatoes in my system. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash all of these off. These roots look so healthy. They're all nice and white and alive. And this process, I'm gonna do it right away. So as soon as I wash these off, we'll go inside the greenhouse, drop some cloning collars on them, and sit them in the tower. And I've already refreshed the nutrients there, so those towers are ready. I've checked the pumps, checked the water flow, and they're all ready to thrive. So I'm just gonna rinse any extra debris off. Roots are in there nice and snug, nice and clean. All right, let's go get our cloning collars and add these to the towers. So I've got my tomatoes, got some cloning collars here, and I've got just enough cloning collars to pull off bottom couple, and I've got a nice root system down at the bottom. So this cloning collar just sits right inside this scoop. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. I've got a total of 12 tomato plants. But what I'm gonna do is utilize the bottom layer first. Sit this one right here. I'm gonna go to the opposite side with the next plant, okay? Bottom few snipped off. You want leaves because the leaves actually perform the photosynthesis process, and that's how they get energy from the sun there. But I'm gonna go on the opposite side, and then I'll show you how we stagger to move up to the next level. All right. Oh, that one went too far in. One thing about the cloning collars is sometimes the actual collar is a little bit stiff. So what I like to do in that case is get a few shears and open up that area where the actual plant lives, just so there's not as much stress on the neck. Now you don't have to do this, it's just something that I like to do just to make sure that if the plant wants to get wider, it has the ability to do that without much stress. All right. All right. Now, instead of going to the next level, the very next level, I'm actually going to skip that one and come here, and then I'm going to go kind of catacorner, or I'll go opposite of what we had there. So I've got one there, and I'll come in on the other side. You can also pinch this with your fingers to open that up a little bit. I'm going to give these plants every opportunity. Okay, this is the one that I cut earlier. or separated earlier. All right, this is gonna go just opposite. Then we're gonna do that all the way up. I'll skip a level, come here, skip a level, and then go to the top. The thing about the reason I chose this particular tower versus one without a cage is because this one has a cage on it. With the cage, it makes it easier for me to actually support the tomato plants once they get a little bit taller and longer. So even with this one, I may come back in and put another and actually fill that entire row, and I'll support this one over to this side, and each four will go to their own sides. But then I'll still skip that one level so that the plants aren't crowded on top of each other. So that's actually what I'm going to do. Making an executive decision right now because, like I said, I have a total of 12 plants, and if I go 8 and then put another 4 right here, then we can get everything in the same tower. But guys, these are indeterminate tomatoes. Indeterminate tomatoes actually will continue growing. They'll just keep on growing. So I'll be responsible for pruning them back and making sure that they don't get too wild in this particular tower. So it's the last one here. And that's gonna go right here. All right, so we paid attention to spacing. I am going to come in and add some more plants onto this tower. But this will be Brandywine Tomato. And thank you guys for following along on this journey. Obviously, I'll keep you guys updated on how things are going as time progresses, as we get closer to the summer. If you have not done so already, I invite you to engage with everything you see on the screen. Like, share, comment, repost, subscribe, and hopefully you all will help me to get the word out about what we're doing over here at 1500 Huffine Mill Road in Greensboro, North Carolina. Take care, and we'll see you guys next time.